as you might have been able to tell, I still don't know how to start videos. I want to find something catchy, something that envelops you. Maybe I'm not supposed to find a way to start the video. Maybe I'm just supposed to start with the start of whatever the video is about. That being said, this is black tea, by the way, black vanilla tea. That being said, I want to make a disclaimer before you watch the video. When I rewatched this work that I completed around 4 years ago, for lack of a better word, I felt a little bit cringe, or I cringed. And I want to find a better word for this, actually.
Another word, my darling, could be that you drew back, you flinched, you recoiled, or you winced. You even truckled, maybe, or you cowered. There's so many options.
And this was an interesting point for reflection, or rather it confirmed something I already knew about the artistic process. I realized, though, that I'd rather be cringe than stagnant, immobile. Immobile? Is that how you pronounce it? I'd rather cringe at myself, be weirded out by my aloofness, my strangeness, or my opinions at the time, which are changed now. Naturally, we change, we evolve. I think being uncomfortable when looking at your own work is a good sign. It's a sign of growth, it's a sign of development, it's a sign of coming closer to your true self every day, I guess. Personally speaking, and I think this happens to many artists, there's a common knowledge that it's rare that an artist likes their work. The interesting thing is that you could be painting something or whatever your medium is one day, be quite pleased with it, although it's not about being pleased with it. But still, the interesting phenomena is that you'll be pleased with it, that in the moment of creation, or after when you take a step back, but the next day you'll look at it again and you'll completely despise it. It makes me think, were you not seeing clearly at the moment of creation, or did you simply grow during your sleep? Did you realize some things clearly, things that you maybe weren't able to see the day before? Another point I'd like to make is that at some point in a video, I talk about how little we know about ourselves. No, I talk about how little we show about ourselves, and why do we show so little about ourselves, and that the fact that we show so little about ourselves is the reason why we are unable to actually come into contact with ourselves when it is needed. And I'd like to kind of argue back with myself in this situation, because I don't really agree with this part of me anymore. I don't think it's about how much or how little you show. I think it's about what you show, how you show it, when you show it. It's about curating a persona. And when I say curating a persona, I don't mean putting on a mask or not being authentic. I'm talking about knowing who you are. And more than, if we want to take it further, more than showing, it is being. Because when we are, and when we act upon decisions that we made for ourselves of things we want to achieve, or let's say habits we want to incarnate, anything that is part of our inherent being, that is part of what we do every day, what people we speak to, what books we read, what food we eat, how we eat it, what we wear to bed, what soap we use. And I think within this process of acting within those chosen activities for yourself, you'll find that it shows who you are. to you. You know, you don't have to build what you show. Those actions build you. They will build an avatar. And then you need to just choose at what intensity you want to show it. You will choose the intensity at which you want to live life every day, I guess. My next and last point I want to make is the fact that I won't explain this video. I won't explain this work. I think explaining artworks is a little redundant and no, that's not the word I'm looking for.
The word I meant to use here was counterintuitive or counterproductive. By explaining, trying to make it easier for the spectator to understand, but instead you're just hazing over their perception.
I think explaining a work of art puts an obstacle in front of the spectator to actually find their own treasure in the work. Because before being a spectator, we are, first of all, artists. Every one of us, even if you say that, oh, I can't paint, oh, I can't draw, oh, I can't paint like you, that's not what art is. Art is also painting. But at the core of it all, art is, I'm not going to go into that right now because it's a big topic and I want to make a separate video out of this. But before being a spectator, you're first of all an artist. And I think it's always mixing up. It's always entrelacé. It's always playing with each other. You're never just an artist and you're never just a spectator. When you perceive someone's work, when you go to the museum, when your friend shows you something they made, you're not just the onlooker, you are the creator. Because when you look at a piece, you create your own perception. Your perception creates itself. You don't even have to try. It's not even it just happens, you know? Your perception is artistry, and everyone will see things in a different way. That's why when we over-explain a work, I feel like that perception is blocked, is hazed over by explanation, by someone else's reason for making that artwork. I think it's interesting to let the spectator perceive whatever they want to perceive, because maybe there's something hidden for them in there, you know? And then for the artist to talk about what they intended by the work. And I think then we can have a very interesting conversation, because maybe the artists can also learn from their work and from others' perceptions of it. And so that's why I won't be explaining my work. However, I'm not denying that in some abstract pieces, there is obviously an explanation required. For example, if you show me the Malevich black square, I won't be able to feel it, you know? I won't be able to, how can I say? I need that background information, you know? So I hope you enjoyed this work, this video, and I'm open to dialogue. I'm open to constructive criticism, to any perceptions that you might have gotten, any impressions that might have come upon you while watching it. I'd love, love, love to hear any kind of feedback, as long as it's kind and constructive. Thank you. Enjoy.
Everything starts from a white page. The white page awaits for me at the printing shop. I'm about to walk in there to print the picture I've sent to their mailbox. It's always funny to see the look on the workers' faces when they have to print a picture of my nipple, of the sole of my foot, suggestive fragments of my body. They are uncomfortable with it. The look on their faces used to scare me, though now I find it entertaining. Why do our bodies have to be hidden? When did they become so secret? When it's one of the only things we all have. if not the only one. The paper is blank until it comes out full of information. No one knows apart from me that this is not its final form, that this simple object will become the source of many other subjects and objects, reflections, thoughts, states. It lays on my red carpet, and I connect the fragments. I erase the lines between the squares. I don't like limits, nor do I like boundaries. I mix it all together until they become one living, breathing thing. Black and white, the nude body, the clean body, the pure body, the organs. Red marks are appearing slowly as I cross the borders. I find sense in the nonsense. I connect the picture to the movement, and everything changes. The red keeps appearing and the body gets rid of its organs. I create marks that nourish themselves of desire, of dirt, of intrusive thoughts, of the body that is neither the inside nor the outside. It's the part in between. It's what we could call the golden mean. You can hear me breathing, you can see my skin, the imperfections that I notice even more, the bumps and scratches, tattoos that I cover up with the red, red, red. I see the black and white as the tabula rasa, the soul about to be incarnated, maybe even already born. I see the red marks, the changed borders, uncontrollable madness as the thing you create after you're born. There are two births, not only one. You're born once, that's not enough. You have to invent and reinvent. Although have to is not the expression I'm looking for. I don't want to feel an obligation, I want to feel it as a desire, a thirst to get to know myself. The red lines create another body, not in the way of non-acceptance of my body, but in the way of confirming its existence, in the way of standing my own ground. Red. What does red remind you of? It's interesting that most people would think of blood, violence, and pain. I think of vitality, confidence, confiance en soi. I think of the potential and of everything that flows inside of us. As you might have noticed, this speech is intuitive. Although I've typed it before, I'm reading it out loud now. I'm writing it once and not thinking about it again. Black and white, and then comes color. Borders are there at first, but the fragments mix anyways. They come together to make something of their own. I don't have to do anything. I just observe. Like the pure body, the clean body, the innocent body, all I do is breathe. The body works for itself. It keeps me alive, and I think it every day. Thank you. The red body, the desire body, the melting body, dripping, dirty, intrusive thoughts body. It's here, building itself on top of my pure body. The video of the picture and then the video of the action taken. It jumps from one to the next. It becomes a game, a poem. It's not the easiest thing to write a text for the actions taken. All I can tell you is that it was a mess. It was a bloody red mess, but it was splendid. The cat kept trying to lick my paintbrush. I was worried he would get intoxicated by the chemicals. This might seem like nonsense, but all I'm doing is telling you how it is, how it was. Trying to hide as little as possible because generally we always hide too much, show too little of ourselves. We tend to keep everything secret, and that's how we lose ourselves. We are unable to come into our bodies to then come out of it to create the body without organs, to create the thing that keeps us breathing, the lines that express desire, the lines we have to let out, to come clean as a pure body, as ourselves. At this point, nothing makes sense. At this point, everything becomes so complicated that it becomes pure. Dirty body, desire body, clean body, pure body. I am here.